Aloha, I'm Jim from Animal Ability, and Mike from Pine Pollen Superfoods asked me to do a demo video. So today we're going to do Kettlebell Basics, its introduction, some concepts, and a few basic exercises. The first thing I want to show you is the concept of the hinge. To efficiently use kettlebells, you need to be able to do a proper hinge movement. So you need a straight stick, can be a broom handle, and you put it on the back of your head, so it's maintaining contact with the back of your head, between your shoulder blades and your sacrum area, which is where your tailbone comes off your spine. Now, once it's in contact with those three areas, you take a shoulder width stance. Now, minimally bending the knees, you maximally push your hips back. The contact points, those three contact points, should be maintained the whole time. What you want to do is about 10 of these, developing the movement and the coordination in your central nervous system to be able to do it, at whatever speed you want, including explosive. So that's the first concept drill that I think is vitally important, because it's also used in the regular deadlifts, in broad jumps, and many other athletic type movements and everyday movements like helping somebody move their couch and things like that. You want to be able to hinge because you can't squat to do it. Okay, so the next concept is basically how to hold the kettlebell. Now what you'll see is with your kettlebell, it's like a cannonball and it's got a wide handle. Now that allows you to hold, with two-handed like this, which this is fine, when you're doing swings and things like that. What you want to do when the kettlebell's gonna go overhead, or you want to be able to transition to an overhead movement from a movement where you're using one arm, is you hold the thumb side corner of the handle. Okay? Now what that does is when the bell is up in this position, it allows it to lay in the crook of your arm, so it's not on your forearm where it's going to be painful. If you were to hold the center of the kettlebell and take it up, then it's going to end up laying right on your forearm. Even if you tilt it, it's going to be against it. You want to have it over to the corner where it's comfortably laying in there. And that's going to be a big difference when you're actually doing clean and jerks, clean and press, snatches, things like that. Okay, so the very first initial basic introductory exercise, that's an exercise that you can start with, and no matter how advanced you get, you can come back to it, is the kettlebell swing. Now what you want to do is stand slightly wider than shoulder width, just because the bell is going to be going between your legs. And you sit the bell out in front of you. So you're going to hinge back, grab that bell, and you see how it tilted when I grabbed it? That's what you actually want, because you want your first movement to be the momentum of the bell coming back. So when you go back and you thrust. Now you see how high that bell is. It is up high in the crease of my legs, my crotch area. It is not below the knees. The lower you go down, the more strain it is on your lumbar. If you're swinging down here, there's a lot of lumbar strain. If you're swinging up here, there's almost zero tension in your low back. It's all in the glutes and hamstrings with the proper hinge. Okay, the next is the one-arm swing. Now you can use any way you want to grip this. I'm going to go ahead and hold the thumb side corner of the handle just in case I was to be doing this as part of a complex where I'm transitioning to other exercises. So I'm going to hinge back, reach out and grab the thumb side handle at the front of the kettlebell, or I could even grab it at the back, but it would be turning as I swing it. So I like to grab the front side, put this hand back, now if you noticed, I didn't do a lot of short swinging. I fully hinged every time. I don't like to cut the movement short. Okay, next I'm going to show you a transitional drill, or you could actually use this as an exercise unto itself. We're going to start with 2 kettlebells now, and you're going to do your hinge. You're going to grab both by the front side corner of the handle, thumb side corner of the handle, and then you take it back and let your arms bend as you swing it up. So when your arms bend, you're getting that row back. Now we're going to do it one arm. Thumb side corner of the handle, swing it, so now we're going to do the full snatch. So what you want to do is you're still going to hinge. You're going to grab the thumb side corner of the handle. We're going to start with 1 kettlebell, and we're going to use that high pull, but then we're going to punch through it so that it fixates overhead. So you hinge back, grab the thumb side, fixate. Now you can come down like this, fixate. Or you can actually come down like this. You need to make sure you're putting your weight on your heels when you go down like this. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take it up to 2 kettlebells snatched at the same time. This is once you've mastered the 1-arm snatch. Now the 1-arm snatch will give you some contralateral work. You know, basically, you're having to keep your core, even more intensely stable. You're having to use more concentration because you've got a weight just on one side. Now it's going to be a little more balanced, but it's going to be double the focus on the movement because you're using 2 arms with independent kettlebells, 1 in each arm, so it's not like a barbell. Okay, so hinge, thumb side, or good. Okay. Next we're going to go to 1 arm, clean and press, and I'll also show you the clean and jerk, which is also called a clean and jerk long cycle. Hinge, thumb side corner, clean, press. Clean, that's the C. Press, that's the P. Clean, jump, rebend, stand, that's the jerk or the J. Let it down. Okay, 2-arm clean and press, 2-arm clean and jerk. A little more advanced, need to master the 1 arm, even though the 1 arm has the contralateral force. it's still not as advanced as doing this 2 arms, because you really got to put some oomph and focus into this. Hinge, thumb side corner, press, press, jerk, okay, now we're going to do squat. First thing I'm going to do is a 2 kettlebell squat, because this seems to be the easier for most people to learn through all my years of personal training, and then they can go to the 1 arm. There's no contralateral force on this, but the focus, since the bells aren't moving, you know, once you're in position to start, is much less, and you can focus on just what your lower body's doing. So you hinge, because you always do the proper hinge and thumb side corner grab. You do that hinge to clean it up. Then you can have your hands just open and loose here. Feet are as straight forward as you can, rotating the knees out at the hips. I do not go any further down. I want to keep from having that butt wink, okay? So I go till I feel a stretch, and I feel like if I went any further, I would have that tail tuck. Good. Okay, now we're going to do the offset squat, or 1 arm kettlebell squat. So there'll be contralateral forces in play there, which is going to take a little more focus to maintain the form. Hinge, thumb side corner, nice clean. You can put your arm here or here, whatever helps your focus. Your feet are straight. You're turning out at the hips, so your glutes stay tight. And then you keep your knees wide and up. Inhale, exhale. Okay, the next exercise I'm going to show you is the Turkish Getup. A lot of people consider it an advanced exercise because it is something that wrestlers use and have used for centuries probably. But it's also a good movement to learn no matter how light or no weight, if you need to be able to learn the movements and the way to get up off the floor. If you would ever fall down the floor and you're an old person, you need to be able to get up so you're not stuck there, you know, until who knows when somebody comes to help you. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down beside the weight, grab the thumb side corner of the handle as always. Use 2 hands to get it up to the start position. Put your foot out to the side, because you're going to drive that heel. Drive that heel. Okay? Now I'm on my forearm over here. My next movement is to go up to my palm. Okay? So now my arm is straight. Then I'm going to hip thrust. Okay, that's 3rd movement. Thread through. 4th movement. Come up to a lunge position. 5th movement. Stand. 6th movement. Then I reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's your Turkish Getup. So there you go. There's your Kettlebell Basics. You could use that as an introduction and start your kettlebell work. And if you're advanced, you can always come back to these basic movements, because you can make them harder or easier depending on the tempos, the weights, and other factors that you can use in your training. Thanks. Have a great day.